Hello again, it's Garson, and today we're going to talk about Wild Magic Barbarian subclass. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you cool, like 3 different examples. I actually have a pretty standard one, a requested one, and my little dumb idea here too. So, before anything though, let's see if we can get into some trouble. As always, let's start some action. Here we go. Shouldn't have tried me. Dang. Baneful Strike on there. Got some arcane synergy going on our blade. We're up to 29. Can we get more? Can we get more? Oh, reckless attack. Oh, we still missed though. Oh, joke's on you. You took some damage for hitting me. I'm gonna go into rage. And what effect are we gonna get from wild magic? I can now cast a bolt of light. I don't really like that effect. Let's see if we can change it. When I rage, I now have the resistances. I'm gonna run over here and get maybe Murphy involved here. Yeah, okay, cool. And we'll just have the party sit around doing nothing here. Come and get it. Oof! Alright, if you hit me and I'm have a high enough level barbarian, I can change my wild magic. Now there's plant growth. Ooh, that's interesting. There's like a difficult terrain around me now. Alright, I wouldn't hit her. You're just gonna kill yourself. Alright, he's taking damage. We'll see Shadowheart in a moment. And now Murphy's going for it. Nice. Good job, dude. Alright, so Shadowheart can just get some revenge on you. Clonk. And then another clonk. Oh, reckless attack. Look at that barbarian stuff. Alright, so there's this little protective terrain. It's just difficult terrain, so I'll go ahead and use reckless attack. Dang. Okay. Got some massive damage right now, right? Look at that. 37 bonus. Pretty crazy. Oof. Oh my goodness. Go ahead. Okay, so everywhere I move now has this difficult terrain, making it harder to escape for me. But if you hit me, I can change that. And you also take a little spike damage, burn damage. Cool. Oh, nice try, nice try. So now what did we get? Doesn't look like it changed much. Protective lights. Okay, so protective light gives us a little bit of extra armor class, which is not really needed because you're done. So, wild magic. Pretty interesting. I have actually not really played this, and this was a request, so let's talk about it real quick. I'm gonna pop out the notes like always. Whoop. Alright, so we're going to talk about the Wild Magic Barbarian subclass. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel or you got a request like the Blacklight Man here, go ahead, leave it for the end of the video. I appreciate the support. We'll talk about it later. Like I said, let's just get into some chaos with this, and we'll start off with that request. So, check it out. One of my comments from the Blacklight Man, he says, can you show an interpretation of maybe Wild Magic Barbarians with the Radiant Orbs? And I think it would actually combo well with some of the Retaliation effects if you could trigger them. I don't have control over the triggers. I've been testing this a little bit. The best we can really do is invest into the subclass, and I'll show you why. All right, so I appreciate the request. Let's see if I can pull it up. Alright, so let's get into the chaos that is the Barbarian Wild Magics. Let's actually look at Barbarians real quick. I'm going to try and keep this brief, right? So they have some really cool perks that I think you should kind of take note of, right? And they're going to be related to the video and the builds anyway. So I think they're a very cool class. I personally run the other subclasses in honor mode, but not this one, okay? But barbarians themselves do get their extra attack at level 5, right? That means they can strike twice in honor mode with a single action, but it's only a once per turn thing, and they get this at level 5 right here, your extra attack, right? On Tactician, you could use this as many times as you have actions, you can double attack, okay? Tactician and lower. They do have reckless attack, which you saw. Even if I didn't have the best accuracy, a level 1 dip in this class will give you advantage on command. It's not a reaction, right? Or you can even manually attack with advantage, but the trade-off is now everybody else also has advantage against you. So it's cool. It's reckless. It's a, you know, risk reward kind of thing. Okay. Unarmored defense at level 1. If you don't wear any armor or shield, you can actually use your constitution. It's similar to monks, but you'll use your constitution bonus to your armor class, sort of how monks, how you use their wisdom when they're unarmored, right? But this isn't like dex. It actually replaces things like draconic armor for sorcerers, or mage armor, or bark skin. Kind of effects like that don't intermingle very well, so just keep that in mind. It's typically whatever's going to be the highest, and it's going to count as your new base armor class over here, right? So this is now adding 6 armor class, and then I get the dexterity bonus and whatever else I can stack on there with equipment. There's improved critical hit. This is actually called brutal crit. Okay, and brutal critical, when you crit, you actually do this dice damage. Any dice damage gets doubled up. So this becomes a 4d6 dice damage, okay? It would add 1 more dice damage on top of that, so that should be a 5d6 thanks to improved critical. Or brutal critical, rather. Okay, it doesn't increase your chances, but if you do land it, like say hold person, you'll have more damage added in. So Danger Sense is really cool. Danger Sense is basically going to give you advantage on your dexterity saving throws, right? So if I can pull it up in here. This is actually comes in, I think, level 2 really early. You get advantage on dexterity saving throws against traps, surfaces, and even spells, which I think is pretty highlightable right there. Then there's Feral Instinct. Feral Instinct is essentially a mini alert. You cannot be surprised anymore, and I think this comes in at level 7 Barbarian. But you can't be surprised anymore, just like Alert and the Elixir of Vigilance, but you only get 3 initiative instead of 5, but it's still enough. It adds a lot to a Barbarian who's not even going for dex. Could be a lot, right? So it's basically mini alert. And of course there's the rage system. So rage, this is kind of interesting because it's a long rest resource, which could actually match up with your spell slot users, your mages, your wizards, your sorcerers, and such, because actually the subclass, we're going to talk about it, I think there's a nice synergy there, right? But let's just get into it. It's a charges system. You get them per short rest. You get more for going higher and higher into a barbarian class, right? But you can use it in combat only, but thankfully it is a bonus action, so it doesn't get rid of your current action, right? And like I showed you earlier, it gives you those resistances, okay? Okay? And you cannot cast or concentrate. So if you were trying to use a spell like haste or something like that, or blur, this will totally drop off. Or if it's haste, you're now lethargic and you've ruined both effects, the rage and the haste. So keep that in mind. Subclasses also change the additional effects you're going to get from rage. You get all this plus some kind of unique subclass effect. And you need to attempt, not land an attack, but attempt to attack or take damage yourself in order to keep this going for 10 turns, okay? So again, just keep these in mind while we look at the subclass, right? So subclasses, there is the Wild Heart subclass that has like these aspect bonuses. There is the Berserker subclass, which is really great on like throwing barbarians and some other fun ways to use it. It gives you another attack on bonus action. And then finally, what we're talking about is the Gifted Wild Magic, okay? So at level 3, obviously, you'll choose your subclass. I'm going to break it down for you. Pretty simple. You get these wild magic surges, right? And we'll read it right here at the end. Wild magic surge. And magical energy rolls inside of you, ready to escape. When you enter a rage, you trigger a random special magical effect, right? And we saw that. So let's just cover it. When you enter rage, right, a random effect will occur. So only at level 3 and onwards up until level 10 when you can kind of control it, but it's really just random, right? But there's 8 effects in total. So what I'm going to do is actually try and put these up on the screen. We'll go over them real quick. So starting with the top, weapon infusion's cool because it makes your weapon throwable and it'll actually come back to your hand and actually add a little bit of damage. So that's really freaking cool, right? But again, these are all random, so you can't control these effects. But maybe plan ahead if you think this is going to happen, or you can kind of force it out with the level 10. The magic retribution, so basically if enemies hit you and do damage to you, they'll take force damage in return, which is what I was kind of planning on, and hopefully I can get it. Protective light, this just gives you armor class and to you and all your allies within a 10-foot radius. There is the intangible spirit. This one's funny. It's a jellyfish. If you have a bonus action to spend, you could put little jellyfishes around in the area and they'll blow up on targets with a dexterity saving throw, you know, similar to like lightning bolt. Dexterity spell save. There's a bolt of light. This one's also off of your charisma. It's a constitution saving throw. It'll use your charisma as your spell modifier, as your little spell, but it could potentially do radiant damage and blind somebody. And again, it's a bonus action, so it's not like it's using your action. So that's what's kind of fun about these effects. There is the vine growth. So this will create a difficult terrain around you and it'll just travel with you. It won't impede you, but anyone near you will now have a difficult time getting away from you, which could be really valuable. Then there's the teleport. Everybody in an area on trigger now gets this effect where they can use their bonus action like a free Misty Step. It's really cool. Okay? And then finally, there's Dark Tentacles. So once you rage and this happens, if you get the Dark Tentacles, it'll damage everyone in an area for necrotic damage, but it can also heal you too. And it's a little Constitution saving throw. So that's all the effects. There's only 8 of them, and you, again, can't control them, right? But you also get Magical Awareness. So right here, you can actually blow this on short rest. You get it back. It's a bonus action. It's got 10-foot radius, and you can use it on yourself or others. What it does is gives you a proficiency bonus to your saving throws against the spell. So it might save somebody from like a dangerous lightning bolt or hold person, right? Level 6 and 9, we will get these cool effects. This is what I was alluding to earlier. Since you're already on Rage Charge, you get these back on Long Rest. You might combo really well on a team that has spell slots that also come back on Long Rest or any other similar effects, right? And so you get these cool effects like Magic Boon or free spell slots for you. Maybe you're multi-classing and you have some spells, or for your allies, which is really cool that you can give it to your allies, right? So your Wild Magic Barbarian has a really cool perk here on a team. So they can give, these are all long rest abilities, by the way, just like your Rage, okay? But you can either give attack rolls and ability checks a 1d4 bonus, sort of like a mini Bardic Inspiration, right? So this is just a one-time use per long rest, but okay, better than nothing. And then you can give a level 1 and a level 2 and eventually a level 3 spell slot to you or your allies. Again, you just walk up to them and just give them some spell slots or give it to yourself, right? So that's really cool out of combat utility that helps, you know, keep a fight going for a long rest period. Lastly, there's what I already showed you. So on reaction, if you actually take a hit with this level 10 investment, you go so far into your Barbarian that when you're level 10, now when you're enraged, you have a little bit of control over the chaos. So if you're willing to take a hit, or you've set it up that way, or you just happen to get hit, or you missed a spell throw and you got hit with a fireball or whatnot, you'll actually be able to choose, do you want to use your reaction and now switch over to a new random effect. Again, it's random, but out of those 8 effects, maybe there was something you really didn't need that time. And so now you have a little bit more control over that chaos, which I find really fun, because we're going to play around with it build time. Again, I have no control over these. We're going to be pretty brief with 3 builds, because I made a lot, right? So we're going to go through 3 builds. I have not played Wild Magic Barbarian, so this is more just fun theory crafting, testing it, right? And we're going to use some shilly-dilly here. So on 2 of these builds, we've incorporated Shillelagh, and this is going to use our spellcasting modifier to turn our staff or a club into our attack rolls, right? So instead of using strength or dex, we could actually use our charisma or our wisdom. So I played around with that idea since it is wild magic, right? Okay, so let's look at Karlach. It's very simple. We're going to let it reload. But Karlach goes like this. She's full level 12 barbarian. We have 10 strength because we're going to use an elixir and get 27 strength. So don't use your don't mix these stats up. You can spend them elsewhere like dexterity. Since we're not using armor or a shield, we get our full dexterity bonus for not wearing armor, rather, right? So we're going to get +3 to our armor class and our initiative. But after that, all we care about is our charisma, because if we boost our charisma, what's great, and I try to show this with barbarian builds, right? Or really any character. If you can blow a stat on one melee stat or weapon stat, you can use your charisma stat, you can always focus on 2 stats, right? So if I focus on, let's say, strength or dex, I probably have enough points on character creation that I can go charisma if I'm not using any of these. Use it on charisma, and you can honestly make any character because of this, and the proficiencies like deception and intimidation. I think a lot of barbarians in general across the story, if they're talking to people, they usually have advantage on these intimidation checks, or they're low enough that you can get, as long as you have the proficiency and a little bit of a charisma bonus. So why not do that? So the fun I've made here is to use it in combat as well, okay? So we're going to take some charisma focus, because you can start your character with 17, and if you take actor, you'll get +1, so it brings you to 18 pretty early. And then you get expertise and performance bonuses doubled up from proficiency. So instead of 4, it's actually a bonus of 8. Combo that with your high charisma and you get a whopping 13, and you can really deceive or perform anybody. And like I said, barbarians get this nice little bonus, usually when they intimidate somebody, just for being the class. And when you're in dialogue, it's these special intimidation options, okay? So we're going to utilize that in both in and out of combat. So that gets us to 18 charisma. If we use Great Weapon Master, we just get a 10 flat bonus damage to our two-handed weapon attacks, but we do lose out on accuracy, which is great because we just use Reckless Attack. And maybe we even want to be at a disadvantage and let people hit us because we have Spike Armor, right? But we also want 2 more Charisma because, again, it's going to help in those dialogue checks if this was your main character or talkative person. And then we can use the Charisma with Arcane Synergy, okay? So if we look at the gear, we can use this helmet to add the Charisma. When we cause a condition, like burning somebody or Bane from the gloves, right? We'll actually get 2 turns of Arcane Synergy. All this does is just add the +5 from Charisma to our weapon. So we can get a whopping like 37 damage on this. It's crazy. It's awesome. Okay. So yeah, that reutilizes that stat back into combat damage, right? And then we have the Bone Spike. So this is a cloth armor, but it does reduce a little bit of the damage we take, which is great when you combo it with resistances from raging. And when people strike us, they actually take 6 piercing damage in return every single attack, okay? We also get a little extra temp HP when we rage, so that's nice. Also, if they try to attack us, and they do, they're going to get burned. So that's that condition, and if they get a condition, we add damage to our weapon while also burning them. So that's nice. Little fire damage for hitting us. Baneful gloves, so if we hit them, there's likely that they're going to get a penalty of Bane on when we hit them. We cause Bane to them, so it can make them more susceptible to our wild magic effects, right? And also we have Stormy Boots, because if we cause it a condition, we can also cause Reverb. Once again, might help out causing those wild effects, right? So let's just see it in action, play around with it. I'm not going to go crazy or overboard because we have the other 2 builds, right? But we do massive damage anyway, and if we think we can't hit them, well, we'll just go with a Reckless Attack. And if we miss, whatever, it's fine. Right, let's go into Rage. Now, when you rage, I did forget to mention it, you do get a little +2 or +3 damage to your weapon. And when we have Arcane Synergy, that's 5 more, so we actually get up to a whopping 37 damage. It's kind of crazy. See that? 37 bonus damage plus weapon. And now we have an effect. He can't run away from us because there's plant growth. There we go. Like not plant growth, but you know what I mean. Difficult terrain hiding around us. So we just did an awesome 51. When we crit, we get bonus dice damage from our weapon damage. So it's crazy. All right, let's do it. Hit me. I want you to hit me. Okay, don't hit me. You have advantage against me. Let's go, buddy. When you jump in, you take a condition, which means you also get reverb too. And I don't really want this terrain anymore because they're already close. So let's go ahead, see if we can change it. When I get hit, I get a reaction choice. And now I have a new effect. I have Magic Retribution. Is that what it is? Yeah. So this is the one where enemies, if they hit me, I do force damage on retaliation, right? So I actually do a little damage back to them, which is going to combo into the burn damage and the pierce damage, and now I have force damage when you hit me, right? So we're just going to knock this guy down. And I'm going to hit you with a Reckless Attack. Hopefully I don't kill you. Well, I killed you, so... I really wanted to show that effect, damn it! Karlach's just too much of a beast. Alright, so let's reload and we'll move on to the next one, see what we get. Like I said, it's the fun of not having control over it anyway. So how about this? Have you ever like ignissed and then you missed, right? So I made a Barbarian. A while back I did a video about Firebolt and how we can even use it on a fighter. Well, how about a Barbarian, a wild magic Barbarian, and he can cast a cantrip. the cantrip, right? Firebolt. And if he misses, he says ignis, it becomes an igmiss. So that's my little fun idea here. It's silly, it's dumb. So we have Kurz, he's our hireling half-orc. We'll bring him over here, swap him out, tag out. So again, what I can do is now cast Firebolt. So how do I do this? I have 14 dexterity for this obvious like armor class bonus and initiative bonus. I want a little HP, and I talked about this, right? You do get a constitution bonus to your dexterity, and it can't combo with things like mage armor. Mage armor gives you +3 armor anyway, so for HP, the 16 constitution, I get HP, and I get mage armor for free, and I don't have to waste resources or cast it. It's pretty flavorful considering wild magic, you know, so just think of it that way. But the real star of the show is the 20 charisma, and you'll see the similar stuff here. But first we're actually going to take Initiate Druid, because it allows me to cast... Yeah, Shillelagh, all right? And this is now going to mean my weapon damage bonuses and accuracy is coming from my big charisma stat, okay? So obviously, we'll be building that. So again, take Actor. You can actually be the face of the party or the main character, And you have more accuracy when casting Firebolt, because Barbarian does do Charisma for their modifier, okay? And then we take, finally, at the end, at level 12, we'll take Great Weapon Master, because a quarterstaff is a two-handed weapon. We'll get 10 more bonus damage if we're willing to deal with the lower accuracy, but that's why we have Reckless Attack, okay? So, the gear real quick, I'm not going to go over all of it, but you may be asking, shouldn't use the Marco Staff? Well, the Marco Staff doesn't grant me the cantrip, so if I don't have a way of getting that, defeats the whole goofy purpose of my build. But yeah, if I had a way of using this in a multi-class, you would probably want to use the Legendary Staff to add more damage and some free spells. I'm going to use the Wormling Staff. What's fun about this is you get it super early. It's in the Goblin Camp with Roa, right? But you can buy this pretty cheap, and it's a two-hander weapon, which will play into our character, right? And then we have a little bit of fire damage when we do weapon attacks, especially when we rage, right? We can add more fire damage with the Drake Throat, right? But the flavor here is it gives us a free cast of Firebolt that works with our charisma, okay? So now, even though we're not a caster, we could pretend our wild magic lets us do something as dinky as Firebolt. And we can actually do some respectable damage with it. 19's not crazy, but we can crit with it, okay? And on top of that, we've added our charisma damage to it between the potent robes and the amulet, okay? So we can actually add some damage to it with the amulet and the robes. And if we use our cantrip, it adds that charisma modifier even further onto our weapon damage. So it's already getting a +5 to damage. With Arcane Synergy Ring, when you cast the cantrip, this ring is going to now add Arcane Synergy. That's +5 more damage from our charisma. So we kind of effectively double that up. If we use Shilly and we use the Arcane Synergy, right, we're just basically always using charisma for ranged attacks or for our enrage. So here's the joke, right? You missed, or you got mad because you missed your Firebolt like I get mad at. Okay. Or someone's wailing on you. You can actually shift gears with this character, right? If you don't want to use your rage charges, you can be a bit of a joke of a wizard or sorcerer, sort of a failure of a sorcerer, and when you miss, you can just get mad about it and be like, and what's wild is you can still get Arcane Synergy. When you rage, you get a little bit more damage on your weapon, and of course, the Wild Magic Surge. So right now I have a little bonus armor class. So I'm going to try and hit him. I miss. Okay, Reckless Attack comes in handy. I bop him. And I'll try and bop him again with advantage. But of course, I'm more susceptible for being hit, but that's okay. I want a different effect anyway. That armor class didn't help me. So now, what did I get? Let's see. Difficult terrain is now surrounding me. Okay. Is it? I can't even tell. Oh! Let's change it up again. What did we get? Weapon infusion. Oh, that's even funnier. So now let's pretend I'm so mad about missing my little cantrip, right? I can now use the magic that's within it to throw it at somebody and it'll come back to me. Ready? So let's see. What do we got here? It's not even showing me. Okay. Let's throw. What? I can't unequip it. Oh, because the shilly. Oh, man. That's that. Okay. At least we know that doesn't work together. All right. I'll just keep hitting them, I guess. And because I have Bloodlust and I have Great Weapon Master, I actually can get a lot of attacks if I actually land kills with maybe Firebolt or my weapon attacks, or I'm raging, right? Just knock people out. So it's goofy, it's funny, it's flavorful. It could be a fun little play style, right? I might use this in a run. That's my kind of stuff. But here's the requested run. Okay, so remember earlier I had a comment from the Blacklight Man. He said, basically, can you try and use like the Holy Lance helmet and maybe the Radiant Orbs and the Retaliation that comes from those random effects? Maybe we can get it off. Okay, so what I did is I did Barbarian first, and then I did Druid on Shadow Heart's build here. This is Nature's Retaliation. We'll try and trigger it, but we want to go all the way up to 10 on Wild Magic so we can kind of force it out, or try to, and then we'll have 2 druids, so that's 12 in total. But the reason you take druid next, second rather than first, is so we can have wisdom as our spell modifier, okay? So if we have any of those cool spells, we can actually possibly land them with the modifier there. Plus, if we have any kind of like arcane synergy, if you wanted to use that on the build. All right, anyway, getting into it though, if we look at Shadowheart's build, here's the thing. Right, we use 14 dex because of the bonuses, but it stops when you're using medium armor at 14, okay? We have Constitution because, again, you want a little bit of HP, so that's nice. Helps with concentration if you were going to concentrate. But really, it's all about that wisdom. So when we multi-class, instead of charisma, we'll now be using wisdom. And I also, with Druid, you're going to get naturally the cantrip Shillelagh. So we're going to use a club that combos into it. Club and a shield benefit from that club, all right? Or the Shillelagh. We'll take feats of wisdom because really, wisdom is pretty much everything we're doing. So we'll take resilient because we don't normally have proficiency from starting out as a barbarian. So now we get this huge bonus to those dangerous hold spells and wisdom saving throw effects, right? And we'll also take 2 more wisdom to buff it out because this is our weapon, our accuracy, and our spell damage, okay? So we'll use the Iron Club because it gets a bonus when we shilly, right? Now it's going to use wisdom, but it also gets a little extra damage because the condition with this is it's a 1d4 when you're using Shillelagh on it. And if you have a weapon with Shillelagh, the shield has a little spike damage, so when attackers hit you, they take piercing damage, just like that bone armor from Karlak, alright? So we have the shield and we have the club, it's comboing into that. We also have the Holy Lance Helmet, which is funny because if they miss us, they take radiant damage, and if they take radiant damage, we have the whole radiant set here, thus the medium armor. So they'll take radiant orbs and protect the team, protect us from taking more hits. The Flesh Melt Cloak is funny because it's the opposite. If we take damage between this, the acid damage, between this taking damage, we'll actually get a little piercing damage, acid damage, and if we have the effect, we'll actually do force damage when we get hit too. And of course, I'm not going to over-explain it, but it's the Radiant gear, so let's just have some fun with it, get into it, make sure you pop this into a fight. And another funny thing is we can whip it good, because we have high wisdom, we can use this cantrip, pull people in. Just have a good old time here. And let's just see Shadowheart's hilarious rage. Someone's got a case of the Mondays. All right. So again, we can't cast our magic anymore, but that's okay. We're not really all about the Vine Whip or Entangling. You just use that when you're out of combo. Or like I said, if you're not going to rage, you can use these spell slots, right? And then you can kind of recharge your spell slots back with the bolstering magic, okay? But anyway, what we're here to do is just have some fun with the effects. Go ahead, hit me, buddy. I dare you. Ooh, you don't want to do that. Let's change our effect. Can we get Retaliation? Retaliation! What did we even get? I didn't even see it. What the hell is that? Oh, we got Light Bolt. Alright, let's see what Light Bolt does. I know just the right guy to hit him. The only issue on these enemies, and I'll show it to you, right? These guys have pretty decent constitution throw, and since a lot of these are constitution throws, they're not that crazy in this fight. But, oh well, keep hitting me, you'll kill yourself. Let's go ahead and hit Murphy with this, or try to. Let's see, I'm going to use this. This should still count as... What? This should still count as an attack, so I tried to attack you. I'm still raging. Hey, I still get the reverb though, that's cool. If you do land that, it'll blind them and do a little radiant damage, giving more radiant orbs. You hit me, you get hit. Oh, thanks for the retaliation. And you just killed yourself. So I like this build, it's funny. I might use this in a run too. Thanks for the request there. Alright. So what did we get this time? Let's see. Wild magic effect. Dark tendrils. So when that activated, anybody in a 30-foot radius. Looks like we just missed that one. Why don't you come on down here, Murphy? Stop playing. Let's go. No, don't hurt my friends. Hurt me. Shadowheart, we know you're like a masochist, but come on. Ah! Alright, change that one. So what did we get this time? I'm looking it for you. Hold on. So wild magic, dark tendrils again. Is that what it got? I guess these can repeat. That's interesting. Okay. So again, let's attack. Hi. Oh, I'm gonna miss. We were reckless. You hit me. Oh, good. There we go. You just get struck back. That's too funny, man. All right, he's almost dead. Let's jump on over here. Yeah, you can just finish him off with a Ignis. Yeah. Come get it, Murphy. You wouldn't dare strike a lady. Oh! Alright, let's see what we got. We got magic. Retribution. Yeah! I got it. Okay. I think that's it, right? Magic retribution. So, Until the end of your rage, your magic lashes out whenever you take damage hitting your attackers. Okay, so in that case, I attacked and missed, and now end. That should do the trick real quick. I keep my weapon out though. Oh, it ended my... No! Alright, well, I tried. But that's gonna do it. Let's go ahead and just bop this guy and miss. Bonk. No, please, no, 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 no. Bonk. Alright. So that's some wild magic for you. That's gonna do it. How do you actually use these builds? I wish I could tell you. I actually didn't run wild magic in honor mode. And I play on honor mode not because I'm a tough guy, but I like to show it on stream because we come up with cool ideas in the stream and the comments and whatnot. I get cool requests like this and I try to break it down the fundamentals so you can rebuild it into your own cool ideas or characters and tackle it in honor mode. I think it's the best mode and it's ultimately the most satisfying to beat this game over and over again with your cool wacky ideas, or just, you know, try hard stuff like I do, whatever. But come watch the stream, maybe you get some tips and tricks, maybe I can actually answer some stuff in the comments of this video or the live stream chat, and honestly I learn things from you guys or get cool ideas from requests like this, alright? Because you guys are my sponsors, I appreciate that, and thanks for watching so much. If you want to support the channel, membership is as low as it's going to get on YouTube. I do that for a reason, just as a thank you for supporting the channel, but ultimately the best support is just enjoying the video, and maybe you can go tackle honor mode yourself and have some fun, alright? So I'll check you guys out in the next video. Till then, see you in the stream.